Good evening and welcome to the Radical SR8 Championship. Round 3 takes us to Sonoma Raceway in California. I am Tom Cairns in the commentary position. Alongside me is Jim Cunningham. He'll take us around this beautiful race course, which will make its debut in this particular series. We are entering the final 5 minutes of qualifying, but before we look at what is going on circuit, let's have a rundown on the latest championship scores now that the pros and the AMs are determined for the drivers following last week's encounter at Zolder. At the top of the table, now we are showing you all of the championship scores, with John Hutchinson at the top of the pile with 113 points, with 3 wins included. Paul LeMay second with a win included last week at Zolder is on 97. It's Matthew Richardson in third on 89. Daniel Beauchamp in fourth place. He's also got a win under his belt with 71. It's Luke Tunison, the highest of the rookies, or second highest of the rookies, in fifth place on 68, tied with Jack Veazey. Paul Crubb, Jamie Bird, Luke Maxwell, and Josh Reed round out the top 10. Then we've got the likes of Stefan Millis, Eric Harmon, Michael Choate, Eric Killeen, Torres Vosberg, or Tosis Voselius, I think that is, Steve Webb, Mike Buson, Meda de Graaf, Mike Mann, David Wilson, Darren Nunn, Ben Gregory, Mikel Lecco, Gert-Jan Polman, Richard Williams, and Mike Walters, who's yet to get off the mark so far. In regards to the calendar of which we're racing out this season, Alton Park we've been to, likewise at Zolder. Tonight is Sonoma, and then it's off to Road America, and it's Nordschleife, which will host just 2 races, 4 laps long for each. Then it's off to Interlagos, Brazil, followed by Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Australia for round 7. Road Atlanta, we go back to the US for that. Then it's to Sebring, and then the 10th and final round will be on the first Monday of 2026 at the historic configuration of Monza. Let's bring Jim into the booth and get a word from him on what he expects to see from tonight's action. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. Good to be here with you. To be perfectly honest, I was telling you right before we went on the air, this is a track that, as a kid, I grew up watching, or teenager, young adult, I grew up watching NASCAR race here a lot, and of course, sports cars, Trans Am racing, stuff like that, IMSA back in the day. I forgot how much I loved this place till we got here, and I got a chance to see it again. It brings back a lot of memories for me. It's a great racetrack. It's in the beautiful wine country part of California. Good climate year round. It's always pretty nice there. I think we're going to see some good racing here.
I agree with that as well. And we are looking on our screen, just getting the live time page up over at our end so we can see who we are focusing on. We are looking at the man at the top of the pile, Luke Maxwell, on a 1 minute 22.4. And now he's made that 1:22.2 because he's just gone over the line for an even better time. He's ahead of Eric Harmon, one of the home heroes round here. Mike Mann is another one in the field who has also set a lap time. 11 drivers in the pros, 5 in the AMs. And looking at the amount of time we've got left, we've just got 1 minute to go. So I'll quickly run down on who is lined up where in the pros and the AMs for this season. Mike Buson, John Hutchinson, Luke Maxwell, Paul Crubb, Paul LeMay, Jamie Bird, Jack Veazey, Daniel Beauchamp, Matthew Richardson, Eric Harmon, Josh Reed, Luke Tunison, and Toes Vosberg. Those are in the pros. In the AMs, we've got Mike Walters, Richard Williams, Gert-Jan Polman, Mikel Lecco, Ben Gregory, Darren Nunn, David Rolliston, Mike Mann, Meda de Graaf, Steve Webb, Stefan Millis, Eric Killeen, and Michael Choate.
And it's entirely possible that that I may have mislabeled one of these rushing through it, but hopefully we got them all right. We'll get them straight if we don't. Oh, Luke Maxwell's on another great run here. He's going to break his own time, I think.
Yep, it was John Hutchinson who took pole position for the first 2 rounds of the season at Alton Park and Zolder. Luke Maxwell coming over the line for his latest lap, and this one will be good enough for a slightly better time compared to what he's done for 0.02 of a second improvement for Luke Maxwell, and that is good enough for him to finish the session on pole position for the first of 3 races we've got lined up for you tonight. VZ will be alongside him. Then it's Eric Harmon and Matthew Richardson on the second row of the grid. John Hutchinson and Daniel Beauchamp on row 3, followed by Luke Tunison and Paul LeMay. Tezes Vizelius and Mike Bousson ran out the top 10. Gert-Jan Polman, the highest of the AMs, in 11th place, had a David Rolliston. Then we've got Jamie Bird, Menda de Graaf, Stefan Mellis, and Mike Mann rounding out the grid.
They're slow to gather today. Yeah, this track has so many good memories for me, man. I just remember some classic old races here. This has always been a good one. It's kind of a desert, well, not a deserty area, but it's in the wine country, so it's that type of climate. Oh, there we go. Now they're getting up there. Just waiting on McCutcheon.
And once he's on the grid, we'll be gearing up for the first 15-minute encounter. And plenty of points up for guys. 20 in total for the win. And it's 15 for second, 14 for third, and a point difference for every position downwards from there. 16 drivers we have for this evening. And they'll be gunning for success, whether they are in the pros or in the AMs. Hutchinson's on the grid now, and the lights are coming on. We've got one light appearing. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Lights are off. It's go at Sonoma. It's a terrible getaway, I have to say, from Jack Veazey from second place on the grid. And it's allowed Eric Harmon and Matthew Richardson up the order very, very quickly. Veazey down to 5th place by the time they get to turn 2. And behind him are the likes of Luke Tunison and Daniel Beauchamp. John Hutchinson up to 4th place as a consequence of Veazey's slow start. And they were looking to see the field filtering their way through. It looks like everyone's got through cleanly so far, as we continue on around this Sonoma course on the long configuration.
Yeah, they seem to have gotten off pretty well there. Luke is already pulling out, man. I tell you what, if there's any fighting behind him, he's going to leave these guys behind quickly. He is moving. I don't know that I've ever seen John McCutcheon qualify in 5th place. We had a little incident there between, looks like Mike Mann and Rollison might be involved in something there. We'll try to get a look at that in a minute or two here.
Hudson on the tail of Matthew Richardson, who's going after his second victory of the season. Hudson with 3 wins to his name. He is the championship leader, regaining the form of what he had in Season 4. He was well out of it in Season 5, but now he's back in the groove and absolutely determined as ever. Hudson gets past Richardson for 3rd place, and Veazey nearly ran into the rear, and you can just see Hudson missing the apex of the final turn, or the final hairpin of the lap, before they come onto the pit straight. So they head over, and Hudson is in 3rd place ahead of Richardson, and now his next target will be Eric Harmon in P2.
Yeah, he seems to got out of rhythm there when he made that pass, though. He seems like he's kind of bottlenecking everybody up here while he's trying to find his rhythm again. But obviously, once he does, it'll smooth out and he'll pull away a little bit, I'm sure.
Down the hill they come. That was turn number 4 that they've just come out of, and 3-5. And this is the long hairpin of turn 6, where they will filter and go downhill through. It is quite an undulating course, which is no surprise.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
It really is. I truly forgot how much I love this track. Yes, it is gorgeous. And it's one of those places that if you go there in person, you can find you a perch up on one of these hills somewhere and can see a huge amount of the track. You know, it's not like a flat layout where you're kind of obligated to just watch one corner. You can get up on one of these hills with a blanket and, and just watch half the track or something. It's a really cool place.
It's so far so good for Luke Maxwell, and keeping hold of his position at the front. Fast up of the race as well. He's going to go over the line for a new fastest lap. Well, they've only done 2 laps now, so this is going to be significantly faster than the first lap. 1:23.3 for Maxwell, 1:23.5 for Harmon, 1:23.7 for Hutchinson. Richardson with a 1:24.3. The next driver behind is perhaps quicker than those at the head. Well, I say at the head. This is Mike Mann, actually, who I believe is going to run into some form of trouble. That's Stefan Mellis in front. Was he trying to dodge from someone else's Mellis? Oh, no, he just lost it under the brakes.
Yeah. Well, that's
on
weird,
the brakes.
so I guess it was multiple incidents then, because Rollison had an incident right at the same time. Oh.
Well, that's David Rolliston. And I think Paul May ran into some issues, Jim, because he's no longer, well, I say he's no longer, he's on the circuit now, is
Yeah,
Paul May,
he's on
albeit
it.
right at the back of the field. We'll find out what exactly happens. So Paul May,
Paul May.
second
Oh,
in the championship
he
coming
had an
from this.
off track. Oh,
Oh, he
what
clicked.
Oh,
I didn't quite see who that was that he ran into.
Let's go back and try to get a look at that again. Let's jump back. I'll get there and then jump back about 10 seconds so we can actually see what happened here.
Now we see Paul May at the back of the field in 16th position. He will get one championship point if he finishes there. But what I will say, for those who are new to the Radical SR8 Championship, is that the drivers' best 8 round scores contribute to their final totals for the season.
Whoever that was went off track, and LeMay's gaining on him, and then...
I wonder if it's Tautas Fossilius that he ran into.
Well, let's find out. Yep, that's who it was.
Yep.
So
the German.
that was really weird. It still seemed like Paul had the room to avoid that from the angle that we saw. It was very interesting.
Maxwell leads, and it's Harmon, Hutchison, Richardson, and Veazey in the top 5. If it was to remain as it is, Veazey will be on reverse grid pole for race number 2. You can just see the field.
This is where the battle is right here. This is a nice little 4-car battle here. I'll tell you, Luke Tennyson, we were talking about him last week. Sorry. We were talking about Luke last week. He's really seemed to start to find his pace, isn't he?
He's finding his groove, most certainly, I agree. And, well, if he can keep it up, there's a chance for him to be involved in the battle for the wins. At some point in the future, there is a chance for him to maybe go for a win in the next race if he can get by Jack Veazey, who is doing his best to keep up with John Hutchison and Matthew Richardson as they come through turns 1 and 2. But it doesn't feel like Harmon or Maxwell have been threatened at the moment by this lot. It feels more like Hutchison is under attack from the chasing pack.
Yeah, I agree 100% on that. And this may be a completely wrong read, but, you know, it just doesn't look like McCutcheon is super comfortable here. You know what I mean? It's like he just doesn't seem like he's really comfortable at this track. But, I mean, again, qualifying 5th is a little off for him, you know, and I don't know, just doesn't look quite as fast as he would normally be.
Hudson holds on ahead of Richardson, Veazey, and Tunison, who are giving chase. But how long will it be before Hudson actually starts to unleash the pace that we usually see from him? Well, not by running wide like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Jim. I don't think John is exactly comfortable with this circuit compared to what he's used to.
Yeah, he may not have any experience here, you know, or very little other than a little practice this week or something. I don't know. I really am glad they picked this track, and it is a really good racetrack. It's got some fantastic elevation changes in it, especially for American circuits. We don't typically have a lot of circuits that have massive elevation changes.
Well, they're heading downhill towards turns number 3A and 4. This is turn 5 that they're heading through. Paul May's overtaken Mike Mann up into 15th. I think Mike Mann has just come into the pit lane with some form of issue. I don't know what he's managed to pick up there. We'll find out what he had been up to that's seen him head for pit road. Miller de Graaf running in 12th place, the second highest in the AMs. The AM leader in this is Gert-Jan Polman. If you remember last season, Jim, he missed the opening 3 rounds of the championship before he joined.
Yeah.
And
he was
so
strong.
far behind.
Yeah.
He was strong, yes. Whenever he was around, he was strong. But he was so far behind on the points. But with Ben Underdown not competing so far this season, there's a chance that he could end up taking the AM title.
Yeah, he's certainly got to be a favorite if he's going to be here. Mike Mann. I just realized who that is. Mike Mann. Roasted Record Racing. He is a big sponsor of another league that I call, but he owns a sustainable like coffee shop. It's in Florida somewhere, Stuart, Florida, I think it is. I might be wrong on that, but I think it's Stuart, Florida. Oh my goodness! Was that Bird?
It was Jamie Bird, yeah, on the exit of turn number 3 or 2, I should say, for Jamie Bird, and the bonnet is gone from his car. So that would have been a mistake from Bird's part because no one was around him when he committed the mistake, and the cars behind him had to take evasive action.
Got out there on the grass, curving in the grass, and then, yeah, somebody clips his nose here. Oh, well, he kind of did that to himself.
Yeah. The bonnet goes on Bird's car. He's able to continue.
I guess that was Minnow DeGraff that he hit because it was the second car that went by him, and I think that was DeGraff. Yeah, that's a mess.
It was Minnow DeGraff, you're right, yeah.
I wonder if that caused Minnow any damage.
He's continuing on his way, is Bird. Now, sometimes when the bonnet goes missing...
Yeah, these cars can get away with that, it seems like, It's not... Yeah, it's not as bad as it is on some other vehicles. They seem to be able to run okay without them. So back to Mike Mann. So anyway, Mike Mann owns a sustainable coffee shop down in, I believe it's Stuart, Florida, and it's called Roasted Records, and it's a coffee shop and an old school like vinyl record shop where you can go in and purchase and look at old vinyl records and stuff like that, and pretty cool vibe. I mean, if you think about it, well, maybe not, maybe not for somebody your age, but it certainly would hold a lot of appeal for somebody like me. Go in and have some coffee and check out some of the old vinyl albums and stuff like that. But yeah, so I do know who Mike Mann is. That name kept ringing a bell, but I wasn't sure. But now I know.
Richardson is in 4th place as we are looking. Hutchinson's still in 3rd. Hartman's a couple of seconds off the lead, but it feels like Luke Maxwell, who's gunning for the championship title this time around. He had a good tussle with Mike Bousson to the last round, but Bousson was just too consistent. Bousson, who we've yet to speak about so far tonight, Jim, running in P8.
I have to say, man, Bousson, and we do several of these radicals. It's kind of a big radical family on iRacing, and they race around in different leagues together and stuff. Mike Bousson is not having a good season this year in any of these. It's like, it's like he's suffering that. Well, I don't want to say that sophomore jinx isn't the right word, but whatever. After you win a championship, he finally won his championship last year, and he just can't seem to find the pace anymore, this season. He just off a little bit this year.
Mike Bousson, who is aiming to retain his championship crown in Season 6 by the time the championship reaches its conclusion in January. But now he's not actually chasing after Daniel Beauchamp, who is not actually exactly at the top pace of what we saw from him in the opening couple of rounds so far. But we may see more of it later. Jack Vees is the one on reverse grip pole as we speak.
I gotta believe that this track has some of these guys thrown off because a lot of them did not know this track. We talked to several of them last week, and I think a lot of guys didn't know this track, and they're just not super comfortable here, yet. Clearly Maxwell is flying here. I mean, he's got practically a 3-second lead. And then Harmon has got a 2-second lead over McCutcheon. So they're starting to really, spread out. I mean, but yeah, I think it's probably has something to do with this track. It's just that they're not super comfortable here yet. I think they just don't know it.
Well, Hudson's doing his best to catch up with Harmon. It feels like he is consigned to a 3rd place finish in race number 1. There'll be 3 races. This is the first one. Then it'll be a second 15-minute race with the top 5 reversed for the grid. And then the 3rd race, which will be 20 minutes long, and more points being given out. The top 10 will be reversed. So don't go anywhere by any means, just on the basis of what you've seen so far. There's a whole lot more to come during the course of the latest round of the Radical SR8 Championship.
Oh yeah, when we reverse this grid, especially in both the next 2 races, it's going to get real interesting because, you know, the guys who are fast are pretty fast, you know, and so there's a little bit of a disparity here, which is going to make it really interesting coming through the field. And it'll be really interesting to see if some of these guys that are a little bit further back in the pack can hold on to those spots once they're up in the front and running in that cleaner air, you know, less traffic.
Down the straight they go. And Vasilias, who's continuing to impress, he was quite off it, I have to say, during his debut at Alton Park, but at Solder, he really stepped up another gear, and I'm really happy to see where he's at. Chasing after the reigning champion, Mike Buson. And Buson didn't exactly get the best of exits coming out of 3, and that's allowing Vasilias to close in. And that was so nearly, well, I say nearly, I think Vasilias had control of it. But Buson clearly struggling on a track like this. This is certainly not his racetrack, I don't think.
No, not yet anyway. I mean, again, you know, if it's just a matter of you didn't know the track that well when you got here, you know, that can change. You know, as they put these laps in, you find things, you know, and well, that was a nice move right there.
Yeah, that was a really poor entry into the corner from Mike Buson, but he's managed to recover it just about. Yeah, he's holding on for the time being, but we are on the last lap, and Luke Maxwell is on his way to victory in race number 1, out of the hairpin for the last time, and it's going to be a first-time win in Season 5 in the Radical SR8 Championship. Luke Maxwell takes the victory at Sonoma, a good effort from him. Eric Harmon in second, and it's John Hudson who just got by Jack Veazey, or holds on to 3rd place. Jack Veazey got by Matthew Richardson for 4th place. That's what I should have been saying. But at least Richardson is on reverse grid pole for race number 2. Luke Tunison in 6th place. It's Daniel Beauchamp. Mike Buson in 8th. Tezos Vasilias in 9th. The winner in the AMS is Gert-Jan Polman ahead of Mena de Graaf and David Rolliston. And I'm waiting for the likes of Jamie Bird, Stefan Millis, Paul LeMay, and Mike Mann to make it to the end.
Wow, yeah, I mean, that wasn't a bad race. It just, you know, they got a little spread out there. We still had some action, though, for sure. And we definitely got a little action right there at the end of that one. Waiting on these results. Who are we waiting on here? Oh, maybe Paul LeMay, possibly.
Paul LeMay gets over the line, and hopefully we'll run down on the results from that first encounter here at Sonoma. Luke Maxwell wins for the first time this season. Eric Harmon 2nd. It's John Hutchinson in 3rd. Eric Harmon 4th. Jack Veazey 4th. Matthew Richardson 5th. And it's Luke Tunison, Daniel Beauchamp, Mike Buson, Tezos Vasilias, and Gert-Jan Polman, who wins out in the AMS, finishing 10th overall. Mena de Graaf 11th, followed by David Rolliston. Jamie Bird, Stefan Millis, Paul LeMay, and Mike Mann are the rest of those to finish the race. All 16 made it to the flag. And looking down on the grid, Matthew Richardson's on reverse grid pole with Jack Veazey alongside. John Hudson 3rd, with Eric Harmon in 4th. There's Luke Maxwell, Luke Tunison on row 3, Daniel Beauchamp and Mike Buson on the 4th row, with Tezos Vasilias and Gert-Jan Polman rounding out the top 10. Mena de Graaf, David Rolliston, Jamie Bird, Stefan Millis, Paul LeMay, and Mike Mann round out the rest of the field. We're just waiting for John Hudson to make his way onto the grid, and we'll be good to go.
He does that just so that we have time to get through the grid.
Yeah, he consulted with me beforehand about that, but he's on the grid, and we are good to go. The first light will appear in front of us. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Lights off. It's go for race number 2. A good getaway for Matthew Richardson, cutting across on Jack Veazey, and Hudson's looking to the outside, up the hill towards turns number 1 and 2, but it feels like Matthew Richardson is able to hold on. So Richardson leads ahead of Veazey and Hudson. Harmon in 4th place. It's Luke Maxwell who just about gets in front of Daniel Beauchamp. The side-by-side going through the sequence of the uphill section of this Sonoma course, and we are looking to see who is making up places. It looks like Mike Buson's dropped back a little bit, but Matthew Richardson leading out in front so far, Jim, with Jack Veazey next up behind.
Yeah, it's a nice start again. Good, clean start from everybody. That's it's always good to see. And man, I tell you what, this track has some really cool camera. Jamie Bird just had some trouble. Not sure.
And Mike Mann has been in the walls as well. I wonder if those two have come together on this lap.
Possibly, yeah. We'll take a look here in a minute.
Richardson in the lead then. VZ, and they're just pretty much settling into single file now. Looking at Tows's Fusiliers further back is on the tail, or was on the tail of Daniel Beauchamp for 5th position. But Luke Maxwell, the winner of race number 1, not having the best start to race number 2 at the present moment. He won't have too much time to make up all that ground, but let's see how well he can make up places. But they are ending the first lap in the order as they are. Jim, Matthew Richardson still in the lead. The top 4 drivers are in the same positions where they were on the grid.
Yeah, that's. I think we. Maybe it's a little tougher to pass around here than I realized. I never really even considered that, but they're. They do seem to be struggling a little bit to get some passes made.
Oh, Hudson made a really horrible error, and that's allowed Daniel Beauchamp to get alongside, or Eric Harmon rather. Eric Harmon goes through into 3rd position by the time they get to the hairpin of turn number 6, and well, that was a bad mistake by Hudson by his standards, and Harmon just took advantage. Harmon, I know he's American, but he seems to have a better grip around this circuit than a lot of the other drivers do.
Yeah, I don't know if that probably plays a huge factor in it. Even American racers, I'm American. I haven't put a lot of laps in around here. It's not. It's not Road America or Road Atlanta or anything like that.
Well, you can just see them through nice camera shots as well in the final sector before the hairpin.
Some great camera angles, isn't it?
Yeah, we just saw someone run into, I think it might have been, was it Eric Harmon who nearly got run into? I think it might have been, and John Hudson had to slam on the brakes to ensure that they didn't come together. They didn't that time around. And Hudson's got Daniel Beauchamp, one of the race winners of last week at Solder, on his tail. And you can just see Eric Harmon just holding on. But it's Jack Veazey who's the closest challenger to Matthew Richardson, who has been dominating proceedings in the opening stages. But can he stay there?
Yeah, well, we got some serious pressure here getting put on with McCutcheon and Harmon and then Beauchamp, the 3 of them here, all within a second of each other.
Now with turn 6, there you go. We can have a look at Mike Mann now, Jim, because he's stopped in the pits, and we're going to get the reason why he ended up in the pit lane.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go see what happened here. I think that there was. Well, let's see. I think it started. Well,
sorry. Before we go to that, Jim, Eric Harmon has had a moment somewhere, and this is Jamie Bird who spun at turn number, I think that's 3A, I believe, or turn 4. He spun, but I don't think Mike Mann got involved in what was going on with him.
Must have been a separate incident. Well, we'll come back. Well, let's go. We'll go see what just happened to Eric Harmon just now, and Boy, Jamie had a mess there, didn't he?
Yeah. This is at turn 7, where Harmon is going to have his moment.
Oop.
He spins, and Hudson just couldn't do anything about that. And that was Harmon spinning around like a coin.
Yeah.
And
McCutcheon got into him a little bit, but I think McCutcheon did a good job just to honestly stay off of him there. Didn't hit him harder than that.
Harmon down to 11th place, but he can get back into the top 10 and be in a position for a reverse grid pole for the 3rd and final race of the night. Matthew Richardson, his gap is 6 tenths over Jack Veazey, and it's John Hudson and Daniel Beauchamp who are the next couple of cars who are chasing. Tows's Fusiliers and Luke Maxwell are now up into 5th and 6th places respectively, and we've got Tunison and Buson in 7th and 8th.
And here's where Eric Harmon ended up after that spin, right behind Rollison.
I don't think Rollison will fight too much with Harmon this time around. He knows that's not his race. His race is with Jan Polman, the leader in the AMS once again so far this evening. Now, where will Harmon decide to go for it? It's probably going to be at the hairpin where he needs to be alongside out of it to have a chance of moving up the odd. He is going for it now, is Eric Harmon. Rollison sees it. Oh, well, does he? No, he actually turns in on Harmon there, and I think Rollison lost another couple of positions.
Yeah, I'm a believer that maybe Harmon might have sent it a little too deep in there. It's terrible. I don't know that I could have picked a worse camera angle than that. Let's go one more time. Let's see from this angle here.
It was
No.
ambitious from Harmon, but I think he was alongside enough to warrant space.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Racing incident, I would say, but nevertheless, it didn't work out well for either one of them, to be honest. So.
Well, there we see John Hodgson in third place out of turn 7. May not feel like he's doing the best of jobs so far, but he is doing a fine job in a situation where he isn't exactly comfortable compared to a lot of other circuits he's been doing well at. And if he takes a third place in race 2, I think he'll take that all day long. So at the end of the day, you're not always going to have the best of days, no matter where you end up going. So on a day like this, where things aren't exactly going your way, that's the kind of scenario what makes champions be crowned at the end of the season at Monza.
It seems like John has worn a few crowns in his day, let's just say that. So here, I'm going to go back here and see. I'm still trying to figure out what happened to Mike Mann since I had talked about him so much early on.
Just couldn't get it stopped.
Yeah, and got off in that dry stuff there, and it didn't do him any good at all. That's unfortunate. But yeah, so let's see here now. Well, this is Luke Maxwell's got his eyes set on Vasilias here, but Tennyson is right behind him. He's got to be careful.
Well, Buson's gone off the circuit in such a wild way, Jim, and in the background, Mike Buson off the racetrack.
We just had a change for the lead.
That's because of Polome. That'll be a glitch, Jim, so just ignore that.
Was, wasn't it?
Yeah. I wonder if there's been a collision because Stefan Millis has also got involved in whatever was going on in the background. That was over at turn 6 on the exit.
Well, let's see. We got several names involved there. We got Buson here.
Puts a wheel on the grass. From the moment he gets on the grass, it's like a drug strip. And just couldn't slow down. He rejoins into the path of Polome.
All right, yeah, let's see.
And he takes out Stefan Millis as well.
Let's go here, switch cameras.
Oh, that's terrible for Mike Buson.
Yeah, come on. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Paul
so that's why the Cunningham page
he went completely over the wall and upside down on his roof, which is what caused the glitch in the timing thing. Wow. Okay. I got to see all of that one more time. Maybe from the chopper angle this time. Let's see if that's going to
Well, he ran wide on the entry first, then got out on the grass on the far side, and then drifts and doesn't see Polome. And he takes out Stefan Millis as well. And I tell you what, Polome did very well to avoid the lead-in pack. That could have caused all sorts of problems.
Yeah, I don't know how much control he had in avoiding the leading pack there, though. His wheels never touched the ground on that side of the fence, so I don't know. But, yeah, what a wow, what a wild ride that was. That's a little, I don't know. I'm not gonna rag on Mike Buson or anything, but that was a wee bit careless there. I guess, but I mean, I'm sure he had good intentions.
And here we see Eric Harmon quietly coming back through the field. That is Gert-Jan Polman who's overtaken. 8th position is his. The driver who's on course for reverse grid pole right now, that is Menno de Graaf, running 2nd in the AMS. Polome has rejoined the circuit. I don't know if we'll see Mike Buson do the same in case any drivers do trip over themselves in the final laps. Mike Mann has rejoined the race though, some consolation, but he's got some way to unlap himself really from Mike Buson. I think Mike Buson may end up rejoining the racetrack before he comes round.
Yeah, we'll see. Of course, none of them have any kind of chance of getting to 10th to, potentially snag a good starting spot. I mean, David Rolliston is a second behind, a little over a second. He could, well, right around a second, he could potentially get up there and, oh no, I'm sorry, he's 3 seconds.
There's been a change for position on circuit, Jim. I will interrupt because Luke Maxwell, I think, has got by. Tells us Vasilia for fifth position. Luke Tunison isn't too far back either. Vasilis is doing his best to come back at Luke Maxwell to the inside, but the door was always going to be shut there, and Vasilis has to yield.
This is why, right here. Apparently he had a little off-track moment here. Not much, but a little bit. Oh no, there it is. That was probably enough to set Luke Maxwell on his way.
Patience from Luke Maxwell finding his way past Sousa's Vasilis, who actually turns in on Maxwell at the hairpin, but left him room ultimately. Through goes Maxwell into 5th place. Having a good recovery after a terrible start to this, but we are close to the end of race number 2. Matthew Richardson on course for his 2nd win of the campaign. He won retrospectively at Alton Park in the last event of the night, where we had that fuel well, what I was going to say, fuel fiasco. That's probably the words I was trying to get out. But yeah, due to that, they took the result of that back another lap. So because of it, Matthew Richardson ended up being crowned the winner that time around. Then he's about to make it 2 this season, and this time on the circuit.
Okay, that was interesting. The whole iRacing had a little flash there for a second. Yeah, I was looking. Looks like Paul LeMay had another moment. I almost hesitate, but I'm gonna go look at it. I don't like to read this to people. Well, this wasn't it. This was it, huh?
He went back to the pit lane, did Paul LeMay. Now, did he push too hard on circuit? Or did he just stop? He just stopped.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he realized he was, didn't really matter at that point where he was going to start or points-wise.
VC on the tail of Matthew Richardson, but he's running out of time to make his move, but he'll be happy with a 2nd place finish. And Matt Hudson on course for another 3rd place spot. And Daniel Beauchamp coming through the field nicely from where he had started. He started in P7 up to 4th place. Tells us Fusiliers up from 9th to 6th. Not too radical in terms of changes to the field from where they started, Jim.
No.
I think they're all resting on race 3 with the reverse grid.
Yeah, I guess this place is harder to pass than I previously thought it was going to be. Maybe this is one of those kind of courses that's great to drive, but not necessarily the best for passing and action, We got Menno de Graaf here closing in on Geert Van Polman. That would be for the AM lead.
Down the hill. There we see Menno de Graaf chasing after Geert-Jan Polman. A slight connection issue there with Polman. It's a good job it happened on the final lap in a way, because you won't want that happen too many times due to the fact that the sim can kick you out.
Well,
apparently, if it flickers too many times.
Some quick news: the development blog just came out for next season, and apparently they are working on that and going to make it a little stricter. It was, they kind of introduced it that it was going to kick people, but they had it really. It was pretty tentative about doing that, but apparently it's getting ramped up a little bit. So
Matthew Richardson coming through the last corner to take victory in race number 2 at Sonoma, with Jack Veasley 7/10 behind. John Hudson 3rd again, with Daniel Beauchamp in 4th, and it's Luke Maxwell 5th. Tells us Fusiliers continuing to score well in 6th place. It's Luke Tunison and Eric Harmon who recovers to 8th following that spin. And then we're looking at Geert-Jan Polman, who completes yet another AM victory in 9th place. Menno de Graaf in 10th, and David Rollison, Stephen Miller's running those, or some of those, in the AMs, with Jamie Bird a long way back. He'll get over the line, I think, a lap down, and we'll wait him for Mike Mann to get over the line. Will he actually overtake Paul LeMay to get 14th position? I don't think he will do, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's good to see Mike Mann over here racing these radicals. He was doing the cars I watched him race in, GT3s.
Through the hairpin for the last time for Mike Mann. It's been a tough round for him so far, but at least he'll get over the line. And the position he'll end up being will be 14th. So he actually does get by Paul LeMay and completes more laps. Time to run down on the result for the second race out of 3 tonight here at Sonoma in the Radical SR8 Championship. Matthew Richardson takes his second win of the campaign. Jack Veazey second, and it's John Hodgson rounding out the podium. Daniel Beauchamp fourth, Luke Maxwell fifth, Towers Fuzzlius in sixth place, Luke Tunison and Eric Harmon are 7th and 8th. Gert-Jan Polman and Middlegarth round out the top 10. Polman wins out in the M's. De Graaf will start on reverse group pole for race number 3. David Rolleston and Stefan Millis are next, followed by Jamie Bird with Mike Buson, Paul LeMay and Mike Mann. The rest of those. Mike Mann made it to the checker flag. Mike Buson and Paul LeMay did not.
And we're here in our little warm up time. Gives the drivers a break, grab them something to drink or something like that. So what's your thoughts there, Tom, about the first 2 so far?
I don't think we've seen an awful lot, in my point of view. It feels like Zolder of a couple of seasons back, where we're just not really seeing an awful lot of action on a circuit where I thought we could well have seen.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. I thought this track was going to race better than it is. It does seem to be a tough place to get around somebody, and there's a lot of draft following here, it seems like. Which, you know, we've had circuits that just sound like it's going to be the coolest thing ever, and then they end up sometimes not racing as good as we thought, and then it's quite the opposite. You know, sometimes you get a course that you don't think is going to be that great, and it turns out to be phenomenal racing. Yeah, I don't know. I would have to say at this point, barring what we see in the last race here, you know, I don't know. I don't think I'd put this one back on the schedule again, given the amazing circuits that we've seen these cars race at. You know, the likes of Knockhill and Thruxton and Phillip Island, other places that we've seen, you know, that have brought us some really, really cool action. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few there. But yeah, I just, you know, maybe this is not the circuit for these cars necessarily, but I sure do still love this place. All I can picture is old Dale Earnhardt Sr. coming around here and going down through those S's, and he hits those curbs so hard it puts that big NASCAR stock car up on 2 wheels. As a kid, that was pretty impressive.
Duncan Watts has been in the chat supporting Matthew Richardson on. Good to hear from you, Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan's active in there.
And then we're just looking further on in the chat there because it's quite influxed at the moment.
Apparently, Richardson's got all kinds of support in there.
Yeah, Caroline, which I think is that. I think that might be Matthew's mum.
Probably his mother. Yeah.
Yeah, and Boxing Orange saying great racing. Great win, Matthew, which I couldn't agree more. And Gert-Jan Polman's coming in saying that the track is so much fun to race, but hard to pass on. I think
exactly.
he summed that up perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, and I could see that. I mean, you could look at this place and tell it would be just a blast to drive, you know, with the elevation changes and the curves, and, you know, it's kind of like the Nordschleife. You know, I love that track. It is absolutely my favorite track in all of motor racing to drive around, but it's just not the best to race on. It's hard to pass there, and it's so easy to get yourself in trouble trying to pass on that track. You know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, it's this one will probably fall into that type of category.
I'm just seeing on circuit that's Gert-Jan Polman, or Menno de Graaf rather.
Yeah.
Who will be beginning race number 3 from reverse grid pole. So a chance for him to get a good haul of points out of that particular race. But how long do you think it's going to take for the likes of Luke Maxwell, John Hutchinson and all that to carve their way through the field to get up to the front?
That's a good question. With as hard as it seems to be to pass, Nords is awful, Jim. It's not, Paul. It's one of the best tracks in the world to drive around. It is so much fun to drive on. To race on, not so much. But, you know, it's a good one. Paul probably doesn't like it because it probably kills his arm. Because that thing is
He
brutal.
previously said in an interview that he didn't like Nords, Jim. And that's why he did say to me at the time.
Everybody can't have good taste, Paul. That's understandable. No, I think I tell you what, it's entirely possible that those guys can't carve their way all the way back to the front. If it is as difficult as it seems to pass here, it's entirely possible that that those guys really struggle to get up there. We're going to see right here because we're about to grid them up.
Race number 3 is about to get underway very, very shortly. Let's run down on the grid for 20 minutes of action. Miller de Graaf on reverse with pole with Gert-Jan Polman alongside Eric Harman and Luke Tunison on row 2. Tautas Vasilias and Luke Maxwell on row 3. There's Daniel Beauchamp and John Hutchinson on the 4th row. Jack Veazey and Matthew Richardson round out the top 10, followed by David Rollinson and Stefan Millis. Jamie Bird and Mike Bason on row 7. Then we've got Paul LeMay and Mike Mann at the back.
Yeah, it's really going to be tough for like LeMay. You know, he has not had the best night, not necessarily due to his own making either, just a bad night in general.
Waiting for the last couple of cars to get on to the grid. John Hutchinson and Jamie Bird are who we are waiting on. Now, Bird did just finish the warm-up session. He was the last driver to take the checker flag in that. So it doesn't surprise me, we're just waiting a little bit longer for him to make his way onto his 13th place starting spot. Let's see how the AMs can do on the front row. The lights are coming on now here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Lights off. It's go for the final time here tonight at Sonoma. And we've got Eric Harman leapfrogging up into second place ahead of Gert-Jan Polman, albeit briefly, but he's got the outside line and the high ground into turn 2. And unbelievably, Polman's been able to hold on to second place, albeit running wide. And Harman's going to be within a car's length by the time they get up the hill again. Tautas Vasilias is up into 4th place. He's made a move on Luke Tunison already. And there goes Gert-Jan Polman spinning around almost. He's going to go a little too deep, well wide, away from the traffic. And Luke Tunison's gone off as well. Luke Tunison didn't avoid that. And unfortunately, he's ended up off the circuit himself. But Miller de Graaf leads ahead of Eric Harman. It's Tautas Vasilias, Luke Maxwell. Yeah, Hudson's gone down the order as well. We'll come to that in a moment. Maxwell's in 4th place. VZ is in 5th. It's Matthew Richardson, the race 2 winner, in 6th. Daniel Beauchamp, David Rolliston, Mike Bousson, and Stefan Millis ran out the top 10. Hudson down to 14th. And we've still got more carnage at the back. That's Stefan Millis being tapped around by
Polman.
That's Polman again. Yeah, Polman having an absolutely messy first lap. And he's pushed Paul LeMay onto the grass through the infield. And, well, it's a wretched even already for Paul LeMay. But so far, Miller de Graaf doing everything right, Jim.
Yes. I mean, he's out there, and he's out the clean air. And if they're going to start battling behind him, he's certainly should take advantage of that. As we're starting to just getting across the line here to see these first laps come up. He's doing fantastic, and Harman's got off well there, and Vasilias is having a nice start to this race for him as well. Maxwell is
Miller de Graaf locking up. Sorry, Jim. Miller de Graaf locked up at turn 4, nearly went wide, but that has bunched the pack up again, and Eric Harman's going to be alongside, heading towards the long left-hand hairpin of turn 6. I think Harman has got the job done. He has done. So Harman through into the lead on home turf. Mender de Graaf in 2nd place. It's Tautas Vasilias has done well to go up into 3rd position. Now 2nd as he heads past de Graaf at turn 7.
Let's see real quick. Let's just take a look at that again.
It was a neat overtake from Eric Harman
solid.
going on by. We'll have a look at John Hutchinson then, because he dropped down the order on the first lap. Luke Tunison, unfortunately, is in the pit lane with damage, and it doesn't look like he's going to come back
McCutcheon
out
had
on
an
the
off
circuit.
track, I believe. Oh no, Beauchamp got
That's
into the side
Beauchamp.
of him.
He did, and that was more really on Beauchamp going for a gap that wasn't quite there, and Hudson paid the price for it.
Yeah, it seems that way for sure.
Harmon in the lead.
It seems to be, I'm sorry, that when some of these passes, when you try to pass around here, it seems that a lot of guys are getting into each other. You know, like it's just not a lot of room. As that was a really nice overtake there by Maxwell on Minor DeGraff.
Nice. Maxwell through into third place, DeGraff down to fourth. Then we've got Jack Veazey pulling alongside for fourth place now, past DeGraff. So DeGraff is beginning to struggle to hold on here. Tunison does come back out onto the circuit, albeit he's 2 laps down on the leaders. He'll try and get some points nevertheless. Richardson going through, or Beauchamp, I should say, going through on Matthew Richardson for 6th place. And out of turn 7 they come, and it will be a dice for positions all the way to the checkered 20 minutes. It will be 25 points are up for grabs for the race win, 20 for second, and it's a point difference for every position downwards from there. Eric Harmon has a golden opportunity to make up for the mishap he had in race number 2. Mike Bousson on the tail of David Rawlinson for P8.
I was looking here at the at this little section right now. It looks like Veazey is our big mover so far, up 5 spots along with Bousson. We are seeing some guys move through the field here, though.
John Hudson's recovering. He's got Gert-Jan Polman right ahead of him. And is he going to be close enough? Oh, he nearly ran into Polman up the hill. And that's going to cost him time. Paula May is on the tail of John Hudson for position. Hudson with 2 third-place finishes. I think that's 2 third place, so it might have been a 4th and a 3rd either way. It's been a consistent evening so far, but maybe not as consistent as we would like it to have been. But don't forget about the drop points rule later in the season. The driver's best 8 round scores are applied to the final totals at the end of the campaign.
Looks like Luke Tennyson has had another moment here.
Straight out of the pit lane as well, Luke Tennyson. He's got to put. He's already spinning really. I think that's the tricky part when you apply the throttle whilst you are rotating the car uphill.
Yes, especially if you get right at the crest of that hill and that car gets really, really light, you know. I thought he might have had another moment here. No, maybe not. Them tires get angry when they start spinning like that.
Then we look at John Hudson in P10. And towards the head of the field, Vasilias is on the threat from Luke Maxwell for 2nd place. This is the highest we've seen from Vasilias since his debut at Alton Park a couple of weeks back. But now Maxwell is running deep, aiming to apply the throttle on the exit. And he'll be, he'll want to be within range to attack, but he's not in a position to attack right now. On Vasilias at turn 7. He runs it and brakes significantly later than Vasilias, but he just has to hold back.
Yeah, it looked like he, I don't know, maybe he got in there a little deeper than he wanted to, I think. I don't expect he really wanted to run it in there that hard.
They may get a good drive out of the last corner before the hairpin.
He's made several passes right here tonight. Which is that is the main passing zone on this track. It always has been, but yeah, Luke is sitting well to score some nice points for himself this evening. If he can, especially if he can get by Vasilias here with potential to possibly run down Harmon. By the way, we haven't spoke much about him, but yeah, Harmon's out here having a nice run up front.
Vasilias running in 2nd place, Maxwell 3rd. Veazey, who He's having a strong evening so far in 4th place. We'll run down on each of the drivers' results over the course of this one. Now, I know that VZ finished towards the top end in the second race, but either way, he's having a good season. Didn't have the best time of it, I would say, at Zolder. He ended up in the wars too many times. He finished second in race 2, and in the first race ended up 4th. VZ on course for another 4th place finish, so it would be 3 top 4 finishes out of 3 this evening if he was to remain where he is now.
Yeah, given their experience around here, I'm sure he would take that.
So out of the last hairpin of the lap, and at the moment VZ is not able to make his move just yet. But looking further back, looking at David Rawson, who's been passed by Mike Bousson, who's gone up into 8th place. Matthew Richardson is the next car up, albeit he's another 2 seconds up the road for Bousson. So the champion has got some ground to make up. John Hudson running in 10th place, going after David Rolston next. That might be, and I'm not trying to jinx it in any way, but that might be as high as Mahutson's going to end up in this race, considering the nature of what Sonoma has produced for these machines this evening.
Oh, I would say if McCutcheon can catch and get by Rolison here, I think he could potentially get Bousson. Mike is certainly not having a good evening either. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, John has been, not lightning fast here, but he's been reasonably comfortably quick here. Bousson has not had the best of evenings at all. This is obviously not one of Mike's favorite tracks. I'm really curious to see if Luke Maxwell can make this pass on Vasilias and start closing up on Harmon, because I think if he can get around him, he's got the speed to start to run down Harmon. I mean, obviously he was the pole sitter tonight, and he has won that first race pretty handily.
Halfway through the last race of the night, Darren Nunn's pointing out in the chat, whilst we were doing the warm-up session, that there was only one Homage Army Racing team member racing tonight,
true.
and that is true.
That's true. Well, Steve Webb is traveling, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't Las Vegas this weekend?
It is, yes.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that Steve Webb is going to Marshall at Las Vegas this weekend. So he's traveling. I don't know about the rest of the crew, but I know that he had talked about going to Vegas. So.
I see Luke Maxwell once again later on the brakes at turn 7 compared to
and he locked him up.
Vasilias.
He locked him up right there. I don't know if that's just the way he brakes in that they just significantly brake different there, but it seems to hurt him every lap, and it takes him all the way to the hairpin to kind of make it back up.
And towards the hairpin again, the 8th time in this final race of the 3rd round of the Radical SR8 Championship. Plenty more action to come this season. We'll be staying stateside next week at Road America, which should be a fun one. It's a driver's favourite as well, so I think we'll probably see more action there compared to what we've seen so far tonight. Apparently, Darren Nunn is stuck at work. Steve is in Vegas, and Ben was out for a meal. Ben Underdown, I think he's referring to there.
Yeah.
Or is it Ben Gregory? Sorry, Ben Gregory. Not Ben. Yeah. So those are part of the reasons why they are not here this evening.
If I was ever going to miss a race, it would probably be because I was out for a meal myself, because clearly I like to eat. Who is that said they blew their engine? I'm trying to figure out who that is.
I think that might have been Luke Tunison. I think
Yeah,
I think he was the one that retired following that spin when he came out of the pit lane, and the engine was cooked at that point. Matthew Richardson on the tail of Miller de Graaf for 6th place. It'll be difficult for Richardson to repeat his race 2 win, but if he can get by Miller de Graaf, that could help his cause in the championship. It'll only be a 1-point difference if he gets by Miller de Graaf, but every point does count towards the end of the season. Now, does he get alongside here? Does he go for it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's going for it at the hairpin. De Graaf leaves in space,
So
and that's Richardson through into P6, and that will delight his fans in the chat.
Yes, man, which he does have a lot of. He has all the fans in the chat.
And we see these two, Vesalius and Maxwell, dicing it out for second place. Vesalius nearly dropped it. Maxwell had to lift off the throttle, and through goes VZ to third place, but not for long, as Maxwell taps VZ off the road. VZ somehow gets back into, well, he's ahead of Maxwell, but Maxwell's gone off the circuit.
Yeah, and that's going to drop him right back into the teeth of Matthew Richardson there.
And all that drama has allowed Daniel Beauchamp to go up from 5th to 3rd in a matter of seconds. And Vesalius has lost ground to Eric Harmon, who is surely on his way to victory. But Vesalius is doing his best to hold on to P2.
Yeah, what a turn of events there, huh? You had Maxwell right on the heels of taking second place away, and just biding his time, waiting for it to happen. Second place makes a mistake, and he has to lift, and next thing you know, he's in 5th place with pretty much probably very little shot of getting back up there at this point, given how hard this place is to pass.
You see the field, and John Hudson pulling alongside David Rolliston, 4th position, 6th place, 8th position, no, sorry, 9th position, going in the way of John Hudson, getting past the AM driver. Rolliston sits in 2nd in the AMs. It's Mendel de Graaf who's on his way to the AM win. Gert-Jan Polman will be 3rd in class. The next driver he's chasing, actually, is Polar May, who's another 4 seconds up the road from where he is at. Nearly just over 5 minutes remaining, Jim. Are we expecting any twists in these remaining minutes?
I mean, barring somebody making a mistake, I mean, there's probably going to be a little bit of action here between, say, 3rd place and, 6th place or so. There could be some action in there. I mean, Maxwell's obviously one of the fastest cars in the field. He's just got to find his way to that. I think overall, I think he's got the 2nd fastest lap of the night. He was on pole. So I would say, interestingly enough, in this race, the fastest lap of this race so far is Eric Harmon out front. Which, I mean, not surprising, he is out front, but.
There we see Luke Maxwell closing in on VZ, following their tussle not too long ago. Vesalius has got the gap down on Harmon to 2.1 seconds on this lap alone. As we wait for the times to update, he took out over 3/10 on Harmon on the last. So it's his personal best lap of the race, and he's chasing Eric Harmon for the win.
Well, he kind of got those guys off his tail that he was so worried about. He was trying to defend from Maxwell to a big extent, and once that little incident happened back there, it gave him some free track space and allowed him to just go ahead and settle in and just race.
3 minutes remaining here, and I think we'll get 4 minutes remaining, I should say. We'll definitely get 3 more laps to complete this one. We are on lap number 12, so we'll go to a 15-lap race with the way things are going here. And Vesalius is getting the gap down a little bit more, but not quite enough. I wonder if Harmon's just easing off a little bit so that he doesn't push too hard when he doesn't really need to. VZ and Maxwell still nose to tail in their dice for 4th position. Another change for position in the back. I think that was Paul LeMay going past David Rolliston into the top 10. Mike Bousson is under attack from John Hudson. This time last season, this would have been the battle for the win. This time, it's for 8th place.
Yeah, both of them are not having good nights, and I think with the difficulty to pass around here, once you have an incident happen like what happened to McCutcheon, you just can't recover from it. You just don't have the ability to make those passes, especially on another guy who's pretty fast.
There is VZ in 4th position. Behind Beauchamp. Behind VZ is Luke Maxwell. Coming out of turns number 4 and 5. And it'll be the long left hairpin of turn 6. This battle for the final podium position is far from over. And Vesalius has dropped back a little bit now from Harmon. I think he'll be happy with his 2nd place finish, don't you think? Which will be his best result so far this season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. with these guys behind him, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's some fast guys back there, man. Yeah, every one of them. Beauchamp, Maxwell, VZ, not to Richardson, and not to mention, the likes of McCutcheon and Buson and LeMay. Yeah, that's a great finish. And a good run. A good run from him, I mean, got to give him his props. I mean, he had Maxwell dogging him for laps, and he held on and, did a great job.
He did. As Eric Harmon goes over the line to complete his 13th lap and starts number 14. This will be the penultimate lap of the race as the field continued to circulate around this Sonoma course, 2.5 miles long. Of course, home to IndyCar and NASCAR, most particularly. But, they have settled into a rhythm. I think they are most certainly just waiting, I think, for the checker flag to be out, unless Maxwell feels that 4th place is still up for grabs. And Jack Wiese will be just doing his best to ensure that Luke Maxwell doesn't get anywhere near him in these remaining stages following their excursions earlier.
Well, I wonder if, if Maxwell feels like he sent it in there and put it into the side of Wiese, that, and maybe he's just going to let it settle out here. I don't know. I'd be curious to see what his thoughts were on that, because, I mean, he kind of got in there deep and got into the side of Wiese when he was trying to recover from getting passed by all those guys after he had to lift because of Vasilias' incident. Oh.
Maxwell running wide, as does Jack Wiese. You're coming towards the last hairpin of the course. There is a king. I don't know why I keep saying proper corner of the circuit rather than last corner, because there is a kink before they go over the line. But they are starting their last lap now. The white flag is being waved to them. And Eric Harmon is on his way to his first win of the campaign. John Hutchison's tasted 3 victories this season. Daniel Beauchamp's got 1. Matthew Richardson has got 2. And the other one being won by Paul LeMay in race 3 last week at Solder. Tonight also, Luke Maxwell took the first race win, which was fantastic to see. But now it feels like he's on course for a 5th place finish. John Hutchison's doing his best to get by Mike Buson on the last lap, but he's running out of opportunities and corners to get it done. Buson will want to end his evening with some form of consolation by finishing ahead of his rival for the title, Hutchison. But we look at Eric Harmon, who has driven a beautiful race this time. 3rd on the grid to the lead once he's got by both Gert-Jan Polman and Menno de Graaf, and he just ran from there, did Harmon. And it didn't look like he was going to slow down from the moment he was out in front. Here he comes then to the hairpin for the last time, and Eric Harmon is going to open his winning account in the Radical SR8 Championship with a fascinating drive. Eric Harmon takes victory in the final race here at Sonoma in the Radical SR8 Championship. A good effort, and that's big points in the bag. Tausas Vasilias, 2nd place. His best results so far, with Daniel Beauchamp in 3rd. And it's Jack Wiese, Luke Maxwell, John Hutchison. Menno de Graaf takes a comfortable win in the AMS. Mike Buson holds on ahead of John Hutchison. And it's Paul LeMay, David Rolliston, Gert-Jan Polman, Jamie Bird, Stefan Millis, and Mike Mann.
I do like that Mike Mann livery. He's running that Gulf, the old Gulf blue and orange. I just fixed me up a Porsche in that in that livery for Le Mans Ultimate, the GTE Porsche.
It's coming through the last corners is Mike Mann, and he'll get over the line. And 15th place in race 3 will give you 7 championship points for Mike Mann. Luke Tunison will not score as he didn't make it to the end. Let's have a rundown on the result for race number 3 here at Sonoma, rounding off all the races that we've seen tonight before the series heads off to Road America. Eric Harmon wins with Daniel Beauchamp 2nd, and it's Jack Wiese in 3rd. Luke Maxwell 4th, with Matthew Richardson finishing in a fine 5th from 10th place. Menno de Graaf is the winner in the AMS with Mike Buson 7th, John Hutchison 8th, Paul LeMay in 9th, and David Rolliston rounding out the top 10. Gert-Jan Polman in 11th, followed by Jamie Bird. Then we've got Stefan Millis and Mike Mann, although it's showing that Tautas Fossilias has it's only 15th place, but he'll be second, so that will need to be adjusted in due course. Fossilias did finish in second place, which means Beauchamp was third, VC fourth, Maxwell fifth, Richardson in sixth place, and then it's De Graaf seventh, Buson eighth, Hutchinson ninth, and LeMay in 10th place. Rolston 11th, and it's Polman, Bird, Mellis, Mann, and Luke Tunison retired after about 5 laps of racing.
That's interesting. It showed that, huh? Oh.
It is. And in a minute or so, we'll get a word with a few of our drivers. Yeah, we'll just give them a little bit of time before they make their way to the waiting room, and then we can drag them in one by one and get a word on how their evenings have played out. But whilst we're waiting, Jim, what have you taken from tonight?
Well, that this probably isn't the best car track combo for passing. Maybe these cars don't have enough power really to pass around here. Great, beautiful course. Looks like, again, like I forgot who said that. I think Pullman or somebody, that about what a great track it is to race. I mean, to drive on and race on, but you can't pass here. Yeah, I mean, it was still some good action. It was, it's all a process. Like I said, maybe this isn't one that goes back on the calendar in the future. But yeah, good solid evening of racing. We certainly saw some talented guys struggle here tonight for sure. Surprising, but they did. There was some really talented guys struggling. It's interesting to me that nobody is in the waiting room yet. Like, I wonder if there is something going on, like a meeting about this whole thing, the second place thing. There's Gert Van Polman just came into the waiting room. I don't know.
Okay. Might as well get a word from him.
Let's pull him in.
Okay. So Gert-Jan Polman, who won the class races in races 1 and 2. We'll get a word from him as we've yet to hear from him so far this season. Gert, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
How have you found the season so far, not just here?
Well, it's nice to have so many new people. So it's a large field, and it's fun to race more at the back, really. It's so funny as it sounds, but
considering the expansion to the grid, Gert, you have found yourself in the AMs again. Are you happy with that, or did you wish you were in the pros?
Oh yeah, I'm happy. I don't think I belong in the pros. I'm not that consistent, so I'd say on a good track I can keep up with some, but most of the time I'm somewhere in the midfield.
Speaking of
this season, go on, Jim.
No, I was going to say, speaking of good track, you had commented in between races about this track in the chat. Go ahead and just tell us your impression of the track itself, and voice, just basically talk about what you talked about in the chat earlier.
Yeah, well, I really like this track because I didn't have it. I bought it on iRacing for this event. And it's a long time since I raced here in any other sim, so I had to practice a lot, but I did, and yeah, it's just fun. It's flowing when you have the right flow. It's very natural track to drive. So I really love it.
Just hard to pass.
Yeah, it's really hard to pass because
I think maybe these cars don't have enough horsepower to pass here. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't really know, because the second part of the track where you have all the flowing left right, you can be very close behind somebody, but you just can't pass. And Menna was in the first 2 races behind me, and I think he was faster, but it was very hard to pass.
This season ahead, with all the rounds we've got Road America next, Gert. I'd imagine that would be your kind of circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, I really love that track. I hate that I missed it last season or the season before. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Anyone on the shout to Gert before we let you go?
Well, I heard Stefan Melis complaining that this was not his track on the radio, and I tapped him in the top corner. I think it was a lap 1. So I'd say sorry to Stefan for that. I didn't make his evening any better.
Okay. Well, Gert, you did a good performance tonight with the class victories in races 1 and 2, and we'll hope to see you again in 7 days' time at Road America.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yep.
Also for the
Good to
broadcast.
have you here for more races this season too.
Thanks. I hope I can join a lot.
That was Gert Jan Polman who we spoke to. Let's get a word with Mike Mann, who competed tonight. Mike, good evening. Welcome to the Radical SR8 Championship. First time we've spoken this season. How have we found tonight from your point of view?
I struggled with the track, as you guys had mentioned. So not my favorite track, but I could see how it could be fun if you knew it better. But
So
I definitely struggled.
I'm sure you heard. Then, if you were listening to part of that, then you probably heard me talking about Roasted Records as well.
You know, I did. I wanted to jump on and say thank you for that. I heard a little shout out. I usually race with a little half year in, half year out, so I can hear what you guys are saying. So,
Well, yeah, I know you from elsewhere. We won't talk about exactly where it is, but you know, it's a series that you are a big sponsor in, and I've learned about Roasted Records and the vibe of your place down there, and it's Stuart, Florida, isn't it?
it is. Yeah, we're a coffee roaster, a coffee shop, and vinyl record store. That's
Yeah.
kind of what we do.
Yep.
So
super cool.
I don't do too much. The other leagues are more American based. I kind of try to get our name out there as coffee roasters, sell a lot of coffee online and ship nationwide. So that was kind of the goal of getting my name out. But I think this is more of a European league. So
Yeah,
it's just for fun.
it is, and I'm glad to see you here. You know, it's a great place as you blend in with these guys. It's a great place to learn. There's a lot of really talented guys here that are more than willing to help you find speed. I mean, some really talented guys around here. You know, so and they're very helpful. So I think you can pick up something that'll help your racing across the board. You know. And like I said, I saw you and I saw the Roasted Records, and I figured I'd give you a shout out since, surprisingly, as old as I am, my memory actually even remembered that you were in Stuart, Florida. So
Yeah, I was shocked about that. I was like, all right, thank you.
yeah, well,
Thanks
you
so
know,
long.
that's because
Appreciate
Chris, drills it in our head, you know. So I knew that, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to shout out to you, man, and thanks for stopping in and thanking me for giving you a shout out. It's good to see you here.
I appreciate it.
All
Thank
right,
you very
buddy.
much. I did want
Yep.
to mention one real quick thing, which
Yep.
you guys might talk about. Who was it? Taurus got disqualified for doing a jump at the very end. That's what happened there with him moving all the way down to the bottom, which is I think he's pretty upset about. So that's your news update. So
Did he?
you can chat about that.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
bummer. Now it makes me want to go back and find his jump at least. I know what jump
Yeah.
he's talking about doing. It's that's kind of a thing that people do around here after the race is over. But I'm surprised he got disqualified for that. Interesting.
Yep.
Should still get that reinstated, though,
Yeah.
shouldn't he?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what McCutcheon has to say about that. But thanks for the info on that too. Good to see you, Mike. Look forward to seeing you more in this one.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
All right,
Have a
buddy.
good night.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Good guy.
Very good guy. Let's go with Daniel Bosch on this time. Daniel, good evening. How was the evening for you? I think it was, I would say that was relatively okay for you.
Yeah, it was, I felt consistent and like I didn't make any huge mistakes. Well, no huge mistakes that affected me in a big way. Sorry, John. Yeah, I just heard you. I was just watching the replay of the broadcast, and you said I went for a gap that wasn't there on lap 1, and yeah, you're absolutely right. It wasn't there, and yeah, I sent John a PM saying sorry, but I don't know if he saw it. So
Did I
if he's
say
watching
that?
this,
No,
I
didn't say that.
No, it was I said that.
Oh, you did.
Tom
Okay.
said that.
Yeah. Ocean went
okay.
for a gap that wasn't there.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm glad it wasn't me this time. It's usually me that opens my mouth and gets in trouble. But he was right. So if he was right, then it's okay. No, man. You what did you think of the track tonight? It's just
yeah, it was fun. It's a fun track to drive. Even if the setup we were using this week was quite understeery, which made it quite difficult through the S's at the in the last part of the lap. but yeah, so it's really fun to drive. All that said, but yeah, there's really no overtaking opportunities. I think every overtake I made today was because someone in front of me made a mistake. Yeah, it was just it doesn't matter. I think if you're 2 or 3 tenths faster, there's no way to pass it.
Fair enough, but fun track to drive. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I was going to say, how have you found the Radical SR8s? I can't quite remember how experienced you are with them, but how have you managed with these? Have you raced in any of the other SRs compared to the SR8s?
Yeah, I raced in the SR10 a little bit when it first came out, but I didn't enjoy it as much. Yeah, I mean, I used to race the SR8. Sorry, did I say SR10 or SR8?
Yeah, this
Just
is
now?
the 8 here. Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
the
no,
8,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I used to race this car, the SR8, a lot when it had an official series. So I do have a lot of experience in the past with it. Although I haven't raced until I started doing this league, I hadn't raced it for like 4 or 5 years. Yeah, it just, I mean, it was like riding a bike when I started using it again. It's so nice to drive and very intuitive, and it's really fun to find pace with.
And for the rest of the season, we've got Road America next, Dan. Is that going to be is that your circuit?
I like Road America. I don't know if it's my circuit. But yeah, it's a fun circuit. I feel like I've done pretty well in the past at it in this car specifically. But again, as I say, that was like 5 or 6 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely some practice in there before we start racing next week. Anyone on the shout to before we let you go, Dan?
No, but although I did just want to reiterate, I'm sorry, John McHutchison, about going for the gap that wasn't there. It was totally on me.
Well, I'm sure he'll forgive you for it. You know, he's been on the wrong end of worse incidents than what he's been through in
Yeah,
this
he
particular
has.
series. I'm sure I'm sure he'll condone you know, what happened. You know, at the end of the day, you were just fighting for position. Dan, I'll let you go. Thank you very much for speaking to us, and well done on your performances tonight. And best of luck at Road America next week.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
As soon as you said that, all I could do was envision that car rolling over the top of McCutcheon last season.
Yeah, at Suzuka, I think it was.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Let's get a word with Matthew Richardson, our last guest that we'll speak to this evening. Matthew Richardson, race 2
Evening.
winner. Yes,
Yes.
and you had a lot of supporters for you tonight. I think, is Caroline your mum?
Yeah. Yeah, she's my mum. So, yeah, she was watching along, which was nice. And yeah, a family friend also.
Right. So
yeah.
before I pull you up on the replay, I just had to show Vasilius's jump and what got him DQ'd.
Was that after he crossed over the line, though?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
I suppose the
I
fact
did
is
see
as
that.
well. The fact is, because others were still racing, I think that's why he was disqualified.
Yeah. I don't.
Because that could have.
I don't know.
Well, it just go through the replay again, Jim, just so they can see it.
I want to show it at full speed here, just because it's, you know, I think it's cool. But either way.
Was that after the race had finished, though?
Yeah. It was after the race had finished.
Yeah. I think it's the fact that because others were still racing at the time.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. Anyway, I don't mean to take from Matthew's time. He certainly deserves it. He had a good run tonight.
Yeah. But we'll go back to Matthew. I agree. So Sonoma, is that your first time racing at Sonoma, or have you had previous experience in other series?
Yeah, it was my first time. I had to buy the track last week and then get plenty of practice because, yeah, the first laps I had no idea where the track went, so taking wrong turns everywhere. But yeah, enough practice, and I seemed to be somewhat on the pace. I know I wasn't the fastest. I think Daniel was pretty fast, and yeah,
Luke
was also pretty fast. But yeah, I'm happy with the results from this evening.
Has it helped enhance your points cycle? Road America, have you had previous experience there? What are you hoping for? Because that is the next one that Radical SR8s are going to.
Yeah, I've raced around there a few times. Of course, not in the SR8, but I think I'm decent at that track. So yeah, I'll do a bit of practice for it in time for next week. So yeah.
And I think with the season going as well as it has been for you after 3 rounds, what's the target for you this season?
I think it's probably going to be just finish as high up as possible. Try and like score as many points because I'm missing the second to last race, which of course can't be a drop week. So need to sort of maximize the rest of the season. And yeah.
I say, I suppose with the Christmas period as it is, everyone, well, some people are going to be out, meeting, friends and family, I suppose. Anyone want to shout to Matthew before we let you go?
Just like my mum, my dad, and my brother, who I know are watching. So yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
Excellent.
lot of
I'm sure-
fans.
Nice.
You had a lot of fans.
Yeah, a lot of support, which is nice. So yeah.
Matthew, it's been brilliant speaking to you, and a great amount of support you've had tonight, and you've managed to pay them back with a race win this evening. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll speak again
you, guys.
very, very soon.
Thanks.
Well, Jim, that rounds out the action for this evening at Sonoma. What have you learned from here?
I've learned that you can make a really cool jump off this track, and I had to show it one more time at full speed just because. I don't know. I guess I would have to see if there were cars still on the track racing. I mean, I could see the point in disqualifying him. But it was all in good fun. But either way, if that's what ends up happening, it's probably justified. John's a fair guy, so if it ends up staying a DQ, so be it. But if they reinstate him, he had a good run to finish in second. So I guess we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's just, again, this car track combo, probably not the best for passing, but great track, fun to drive, great looking track. And excited for next week, man. Road America. That's that's as classic as it gets right there.
And if you are excited for Road America next week, why not like and subscribe to the JP Broadcasting YouTube channel? You can keep up to date with all the latest that's been shown on the channel itself, and you will not miss a thing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Jim, thank you very much for your company as always. And Sonoma has proved to be a brilliant circuit for 3 drivers who have taken victory tonight. Luke Maxwell in race number 1, Matthew Richardson in race number 2, and home hero Eric Harmon in race number 3. It's a winless round for John Hutchinson for the first time this season. Will he bounce back in 7 days' time at Road America? You know where to find it. I am Tom Cairns with Jim Cunningham, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical SR8 Championship returns.